Alright, we're back again. Yeah, you guys are getting sick and tired of these slut casts, right? You're getting tired of these sluts. That's okay, I threw away the other slut and I got the OG slut back. Juanito's back, finally. It's been quite some time. I honestly cannot remember when was the last time you... Oh yeah, when Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. That was about it.
Yeah, that was like the last time, and then he disappeared from the face of the universe.
Yeah, but it's okay. I'm back, and we're here to talk about the new Pokémon Direct that just came out.
Yeah. You know, when it comes to Pokemon, you already know who I was going to bring into this. This is my main rival in Pokemon. We've had a long history with this franchise. Why don't we talk about our history?
So I guess I'll go first. I was introduced to Pokemon. I knew about Pokemon, like, as a kid. Like, I knew about it from playgrounds and stuff, but, like, I never ever played a Pokemon game. It wasn't until I met, Marcos in the 3rd grade where he introduced it to me, and I fell in love with the franchise.
Jesus Christ, 3rd grade. Oh my god. I feel old.
We're old. I'm 21. You're, like, what, 22 now?
Yeah, exactly that.
We're old. We're ancient people.
Wow, I can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to feel older?
Sure.
Pokemon Yellow is actually the very first game I played.
Damn.
I was like 4 years old, and my sister had a Game Boy, and I held on to it for a minute, and I remember vividly. It was in Vermilion City. Vermilion City, where I went to the boat. I was in SS Anne, and for some reason, I guess one of her Pokemon were poisoned, and I kept dying, and then booted back to the Pokemon Center. That's what always happened every time I booted that game. And I remember she had like a handful of Pokemon, but I can't really remember at the moment. But point is, Pokemon Yellow was my introduction to the world of gaming, and of course, I watched the anime. I've caught up with the series. Honestly, Pokemon was at one point my favorite franchise in any media because of how addicted I was. I think the only people that can really tell you my addiction level of Pokemon at the time is this guy and another friend of ours named Frank.
Yep.
AKA King. These two. Would you care to explain how addicting I was to a Pokemon?
We were playing the playground constantly, every day in recess.
Yep. And I was pretty much the MVP of Pokemon in Robinson.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
But yeah, it's a lot. This is a quick synopsis of my history, but you know, I do have an opinion like towards Pokemon's direction, but that will be for when we talk about the Direct. So let's get to it.
Alright.
So we got the region itself, the Galar region.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what can we? It's based on the UK.
Yeah, it's based on the United Kingdom, except the map of it is the United Kingdom but flipped upside down, which is hilarious. It means you start in Scotland. So all the English people are gonna get triggered when they find that out.
I think they already did.
Probably. Let's see. It's a pretty unique looking region. I really liked it. It has this sort of steampunk kind of style. I think it's pretty cool. What about you, Mark? What do you think of the region's experience?
I feel like I haven't seen enough of it, to be honest. Like, I feel like I need to see a little bit more of it, and then I can probably give you an opinion on it. But I mean, this is probably just like the enhanced graphics itself that I'm gonna be speaking for. But I honestly thought that the region looked good, but like more of a graphic standpoint as opposed to if this region was like better than, say, I don't know, Sinnoh or something. I feel like I need to see a little bit more because I do like, you know, the wild area, for instance. Like, I thought, like, there was a lot of variety in, you know, the weathers, for instance.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives me that Sinnoh-esque vibe, but I feel like I need to see a little bit more of the region because off the top of my head, I really can't really remember too much.
Right.
Graphic standpoint, it's probably a good start for the Nintendo Switch, if I have to be perfectly honest.
And I get what you meant by the Sinnoh vibes because, you know, it's like a colder type of region. It's a colder climate.
There's a desert area, you know.
Yeah.
It just reminds me a little bit about Sinnoh.
Yeah. Alright, so now we can talk about the new mechanic, Dynamaxing.
Okay.
So, Dynamaxing is the brand new mechanic for Generation 8. It enlarges one Pokemon in your party, and you are able to perform super moves. However, unlike Mega Evolution, it only lasts for 3 turns. Like Mega Evolution and Z moves, Dynamaxing is activated with a bracelet, and I can tell you by the time we reach Gen 11, we're going to have an entire sleeve of presets on our player character, and it's going to look ridiculous.
Yeah. Like, I've been a little bit outspoken with how I felt towards Megas, and, well, more specifically the Megas back in Gen 6, but, like, I was willing to give it a pass because it was just that one, like, little mechanic. Like, it didn't seem like it was a big deal. I think my big, like, sin I had with the Mega Evolutions and the Z moves, and I guess Dynamaxing too, it kind of went further away from what the concept of Pokemon actually was. I'll get a little bit more. I'll get a little bit more emphasis on it later, but I do agree that it's getting to a point where it's getting ridiculous, these new mechanics, because, like you said, when Gen 8 rolls in, we're most likely going to have a team that's going to have a Z move, a Mega, and Dynamaxing. Like, we're going to be further away from what basic Pokemon battling is going to be, and more like who has the most power. It's honestly going to feel like a Dragon Ball fight within Pokemon.
The way you said it made me think of, like, how some, like, evangelical preachers are like, every day we're getting further and further away from the Lord.
Pretty much. But, yeah. Like, honestly, I'm on board with, like, something new, but I feel like this is taking it a little bit too far, if you ask me.
I personally feel that the concept is a little lazy, at least in comparison to Megas and to Z moves, because if you're literally just enlarging the Pokemon, you're making each each move is going to be like, each attacking move rather, is going to be like its own like super powerful special move, similar to how Z moves worked. And I don't know, it probably didn't take that much effort on K6's part to make giant models of these Pokemon.
Yeah, I agree. Like, at least with Mega Evolutions, they had to go out of their way to redesign the new Pokemon, for better or worse, really.
I mean, Z moves, you have to think of like the secondary effects for every status move, or a new animation, and just basically what you have to do with the moves for the Dynamaxing, and then some, because you also have some of the signature moves like Decidueye Z moves. But I feel like that special aspect that was in Z moves and in Megas is like not present with Dynamaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll always give credit where credit is due to Z moves, but at least they look pretty in the animation. This one, they just... my sister made a comparison, but she even said that they look like the giant island Pokemon from way back in the first season, where the island of the giant Pokemon. That's what the episode is called.
Don't forget the giant Dragonite and the giant Tentacool.
Yeah, but I mainly remember giant, when it comes to giant Pokemon, oh yeah, and the giant Gengar, don't forget about that, and Alakazam. But, like, I specifically remember, like, the island of the giant Pokemon, and we just made that comparison.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, we'll see, but maybe there'll be, like, some strict rule of you can't have Dynamaxing and Megas at the same time, and... there's a topic that I'll get into a little bit later.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, we doubt this is gonna, like, full-on replace Megas or Z moves, as in, like, they're gonna not, like, ever do them again. Like, they're gonna be implemented again.
I mean, one thing I'm noticing is that I don't think they're giving any more Pokemon any new Megas. Like, remember when people wanted Mega Flygon? Yeah, I remember.
We wanted Mega Flygon, and they didn't give us Mega Flygon, you bastards.
Right.
Really, I'm looking at you. No, but anyways, so I guess now we can do a little more positive note and talk about the semi-open world.
The wild areas is actually a pretty cool addition. I like the wild areas.
Okay.
Yeah. What about it?
Do you want to talk about the wild area?
Oh, did I just rudely interrupted you? I just like interrupted you saying like I like the wild areas.
Needless to say,
oh fuck, I'm just gonna go up.
Introducing it, or should I?
You can go ahead and explain what the wild areas are.
Okay, so the wild areas appear to be large open sections within the Galar region, where one can find roaming Pokemon in the open world. This is similar to how Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee had wild roaming Pokemon in the game, where you could avoid random encounters with this. The type of weather can affect the type of Pokemon that are caught in these wild areas. And we don't think it'll replace traditional routes, because there are a few shots within the trailer where we see like old-fashioned, like Route 1 style routes in the overworld, so it's probably just going to be like some random sections throughout the map.
Yeah.
So any thoughts on the wild area marker?
These are not. Yeah, I was gonna say like these are not gonna be routes. Like from what I understand, they kind of remind me a little bit about the Safari Zone.
Yeah.
Except like better in every fucking way.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because like I've always hated the Safari Zone. I'm gonna just say it out there. I don't like it when they limit your methods of catching your Pokemon. Like I always like, you know.
All them. You have to throw rocks.
I never understood like why I hated it until I decided to do the one thing that everybody told me not to do, and that was shiny hunts. When everybody was having erections over shiny Pokemon, I would just told myself, you know what? I don't need an action replay. I'm gonna go shiny hunt myself. And shiny hunting in the Safari Zone is probably worse than when a shiny Pokemon explodes. Okay, I'm just gonna say that. I would rather take that and cry about it and move on with my life, but I feel like when a shiny Pokemon shows up in a fucking Safari Zone, it's like that's like a once in a lifetime chance that I'm never gonna get back.
And then it just runs away.
Chanseys are the worst. Shiny Chanseys are the worst, honestly.
I can imagine.
Like, I get that shiny Manaphy from Pokemon Ranger exists, but I don't give a fuck.
Who gives a fuck about Pokemon Ranger?
I don't care about fucking Manaphy being shiny in Pokemon Ranger. No. Just not ever again.
Okay.
Remember when Frank found that one shiny Graveler and it blew up?
Yeah, I remember. He was so upset about it.
Like, I've never been pissed off over a game that I wasn't even playing. You ever have one of those feelings where you get pissed off, not because of something that happened to you, but something that happens to a friend while he was playing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
Like when Alec died to a shadow.
Oh my god, my mind was like, wait, what are you talking about now?
That was more disappointment.
How about something even better? How about going through fucking whatever the forest was in X version, spending like half an hour finding a Pikachu, not finding a Pikachu. He finally finds one, catches one, and on the way out, he runs into like 10 in a row.
Wait, who is this?
This is Alec. Like, yeah, I get, like, you know, like, the fucking, like, you're looking for one specific Pokemon. It takes forever to find it. You find it, you catch it, great. And then you run into 10 of these in a row.
I had a similar experience at Comic-Con once, where no one at first was taking pictures of me in my Joker cosplay, and then as soon as I was about to leave, everyone, like, 5 steps, I take 5 steps, someone wanted to take a picture with me.
Damn.
Yeah.
But... yeah. One thing I'll appreciate about the new Pokemon games, and it's actually started with Let's Go. You can actually see the Pokemon. I mean, actually, no. I may be misremembering, but maybe it started in Sun and Moon too. But
see the Pokemon.
Where you actually see the Pokemon, like, yeah, no, not in the Pokemon, like, when they're just roaming around in the wild. I think Let's Go started this, and I can easily appreciate that, because that means I'll know when I'm looking for a Pokemon, and I'll know if it's shiny or not.
Yeah, I really appreciate that too, and it makes the world feel a lot more lived in. Like, it makes it feel like an actual world.
Also, I may also have a chance to run away from the wild Pokemon.
Yeah, basically.
Like, I don't want to battle you. Leave me alone.
Leave me alone, Zubat. Bitch.
Would you imagine just leaving the cave full of, like, having a bunch of Zubats chasing you?
Oh my god.
Like, I just pictured it. It will honestly be the cutest and funniest things in the world.
Like, you're just, like, running outside the cave. They just all come out of the cave one at a time.
Or you just actually, Let's Go had something funny. The Pokemon pops up whenever it feels like it. Try and think about that. And every 2 seconds, another Zubat appears, and I'm like, no, Zubat, I don't want to deal with your supersonics.
Get out of my face.
Zubats are great. I absolutely love Zubats. Zubats is my least favorite Pokemon.
I could see that. I guess that would be the same for me? Question mark?
I guess so. I mean, I just love Zubat.
Okay.
So yeah, I like the ideas of the wild areas. Especially the fact that you can connect your friends locally or through Wi-Fi, which leads to the next part, the max raid battles. You can find, but this is where I feel like the Dynamax works better. Rather than having a trainer use one, I would have much preferred keeping it into like this weird place, like this very distortion world-like area where they're just abnormally huge. And the 4 of you have to work together. 4 players have to work together to defeat it. I thought that was cool. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I like the idea too. It makes it also like you could totally see this happening in the Pokemon world because when Pokemon Go was like the hot shit, everyone would do that. They would go on raids to catch a Squirtle.
Yeah, or Dragonite if you get lucky.
Or Dactyl.
Yeah, but so I like the idea of max raid battles, and I feel like that's where the Dynamax should have been used, rather than normal battles.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that one person having to catch the Dynamax, though, because it's like, do you want to end friendship?
I mean, Nintendo's never been a stranger to ending friendships. We're talking about the same company that's made Mario Kart and Smash Brothers.
And competitive Pokemon is also a thing.
And competitive Pokemon, so, like...
And also the ability to give this slut fucking attract, but that's another side rant. That's a personal vendetta.
Let's see, what else? Oh, and also, when you're in a max raid battle, only one person can Dynamax their own Pokemon.
Yeah, I already pointed that out, and I'm like, why? Why do you want to end friendship?
Yeah, it's like, I have a giant Venomoth. Let me just get my Tyranitar, and we can have Godzilla versus Mothra.
I'm not gonna lie, that'd be awesome.
Dynamax is their Eevee.
But what I was gonna say was that what was I gonna say?
What?
Yeah, why can't we split it up? It's a big ass Pokemon. You can split it into little Weaviles, little pieces of Gyarados for all 4 of you.
I think that's called dismemberment.
They don't need to know that. It's a kid's game. You can get away with a lot.
Dear Lord. Let's see. What else? Oh, also certain Pokemon cannot be caught in the wild areas until they are caught or defeated in a max raid battle. So from what we see in the trailer, that includes Clefable, Gyarados, Weavile, and then a few others.
Which I will say eat dicks, because I would want a Weavile and Gyarados.
Hopefully Milotic is in there, because I saw Milotic in the trailer and I was flabbergasted.
Yeah. I honestly, for my sake, I really hope it is, just so I can steal it from you. I'm like, I can see it right there. It's like, yes, finally, on my loading, and I didn't have to grind a fucking Feebas. Let's do this, and then you see me just throwing the ball, and it's like, wow, Marcos, you fucking whore.
I would be so mad. I would literally, like, watch, I invite you in a raid, but it's just like, I don't know, you...
If I do that, you won't be inviting me to any more raids, okay?
The first one we go to, it's just this big ass Milotic, and I'm like, oh, finally! But then I see you there as well, and I'm like, oh no!
No, somebody knock Marcos' Pokemon out!
That doesn't stop me from throwing this Pokemon.
Quick, hold down that Electivire.
Oh my god.
But honestly, like, max rate battles are fun, and the wild areas in max rate battles are honestly the ones I want to see explore more. Like, they're awesome concepts. Like, I really like it.
It makes me, I think Alpharad put it best when he said it reminded him of Breath of the Wild, and I completely agree in that aspect.
Yeah, honestly, like, the good thing about these new games, like, coming into a more advanced system like the Switch, is that they have this potential to be much bigger than their other counterparts would make them out to be. Like, Breath of the Wild is huge and gorgeous, and Mario Odyssey just pretty much brings, like, the 3D gameplay of all the 3D gameplay almost to its peak. And Pokemon is already, like, in its best looking state. If it didn't have the gimmicky, what's the word I'm looking for? The gimmick mechanics, then I would actually be on board with these games like 100%. Right now I'm like in the 70%. I enjoy it, like, because Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee was definitely a good start, but it definitely could have done a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, I'll get a little bit more info on Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee a little bit later. But now let's talk about the gyms, which I think are actually really good.
Same here. The new gyms resemble large stadiums in which large crowds gather and watch their town's respective gym leaders battle trainers.
And let me tell you this, the gym battles remind me so much of Pokemon Stadium. And I really liked it because anything that has like a stadium approach to just like to these simple gym battles, like I've always thought that they were cool. Like especially after, even though Ash versus Elisa is the worst gym battle in history, I like the idea of having a crowd, like, you know, an audience to watch another challenger try and take out their local town's gym leader. Like, it's something that I feel like it's always been the case, because whenever you look at the anime and you look at the designs of some of the gyms, you can clearly tell there were meant to be an audience there and not just your buddies.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. I feel like this also makes the world a lot more lived in. Like, could you imagine, like, would you not, like, say if you live in, I don't know, Kanto,
the best region,
not go, you know, every so often to like see Misty like being challenged by some schmuck?
You know, I would not be going there just to see Misty battle. I'm just pointing that out there.
Oh, of course you would. Says the pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah. If anything, if I want to see anybody, like, if I were to see a gym leader consistently, I would definitely watch Blue.
I could see that.
Blue is like the one that I'd be most interested. I'd be more interested to see Blue, because Blue would only want to challenge someone that has had the most experience with gyms, and I feel like those would be the most interesting battle. With Misty, I'm only going to be going there because she looks good in the water. Okay, I'm just going to point that out there. With Blue, he looks good in battling.
Anyway.
And with Brock, I just want to ask him, how is his eyes still? Like, how does his eyes work?
Oh God.
Yeah, but I like with the whole time, with the exception of the gym leaders having the Dynamax Pokemon on their own, because you know how I feel about Dynamax. I overall like the approach of gyms, and I'm glad that they're not pulling off the stupid shit that Sun and Moon was trying to do with the whole trials. And it's like, hey, it's different. And I'm like, yeah, it's different, but the same shit.
Kind of, yeah. Like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like the trials were interesting in some ways, but at the same time, it was like it's gym leaders. This is a key concept of Pokemon. that getting rid of it just doesn't feel all that right.
I'm all in.
You know what I mean?
I'm all in for new ideas. If there was ever a main series Pokemon game where they get rid of gyms and they focus more on like the story, kind of like Coliseum and XD and all that stuff, I'd be on board with that. But changing the gym formula, quote unquote, and giving it a different name doesn't really make it different. It just makes it. It just gives it a different name, really. Like, I get that you'll fight the child Pokemon monster, like the totem Pokemon, but that doesn't make it any different than what fighting a gym leader's best Pokemon. It doesn't make it any different from fighting fucking Fantina and her spamming hypnosis battles, and then Miss Magius, which outspeeds everything. It doesn't make, like Lieutenant Surge's Raichu is like any different than what a totem Pokemon would do. Like, giving it a boost in stats, I guess, like, it's fine, but it doesn't substitute that a gym leader's best Pokemon is often going to be your most challenging threats.
Even though, like, we got rid of the gym leaders and they tried to make something different with the trials, that it was still the same.
Yeah, overall, they're still the same. Like, they don't change anything. Like, you're still fighting their strongest Pokemon. You're still, like... It doesn't make it any different than what, like, fighting the gym leaders is ace, because the gym leader's ace will more than likely, like, give you the biggest challenge of the bunch. You're preparing to fight its ace, and that's why it could potentially be the hardest or the easiest, because you already know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, the knowledge, the more knowledge you have of the gym leader, then the more prepared you'll be. The least knowledge you'll have, or the less Pokemon you have that's meant for this gym, then the more challenging it is. Like, you don't have to go out of your way to grind every single time. You just have to, like, know what your gym leader does for you to have an advantage. Like,
yeah. Like,
if you started with Charmander against Brock, how can you go up against his rock types? Well, just because it's a firebender, wow, I went to Avatar. Just because it's a fire type, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a terrible choice. Geodude and Onix are not really keen for their special defense, so hitting it with an Ember is ideally the good choice. But if you want to go a little bit further, you can teach Charmander Metal Claws, they're both weak to steel.
Or you can get a Nidoran and teach it to double kick, which it learns by leveling up.
The point is, you don't need to have one big, strong-ass Pokemon that's just doing nothing but summon smaller, weaker Pokemon just to drag the fight down. It's not a substitute for gym battles. Gym battles have always been fine the way they are. I don't see the need to just change them for the sake of diversity or to be different. It's not different. Like, Gen 7, why are you trying to trick me like this?
No, because they felt like it.
Whatever, but I like their new take on the gyms. Again, the Dynamax Pokemon didn't exist, I would have loved it. Absolutely have loved it. In fact, I want a Stadium remastered now. Give it to me now.
I could see that. I think that'd be really cool.
Battle Revolution was such a beautiful looking game, and that was on the fucking Wii. Like, I want something like that. I want like more emphasis on like the 3D Pokemon games, more story focused games, but keep the open world. I want a GTA Pokemon game.
Oh God.
I want to rob people. I want to be like Detective Pikachu. I want to have a Charizard just so I can like go into illegal battles and shit and do R's and shit like that.
Set random people on fire.
Please tell me you've seen the movie just so I can make that joke sound more like it makes sense.
I haven't seen the movie.
Okay, well, I'll give you a little spoiler, but they have like these little power things, and they call it R's, and they make your Pokemon go a little bit crazy. So, we go, my Charizard and I are gonna do some R's, bitch.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, the Rotom phone.
You're gonna do it, or am I?
Okay. So, the Rotom phone is basically your smartphone. Basically, it's your iPhone. And it's possessed by Rotom. Whether that's creepy or not, that's okay. It was sort of in Sun and Moon already, and it just basically, it acts like a Pokedex. But it has like certain other functions. Like the water bike mechanic, as seen in the Direct. The Rotom phone can actually activate as a water bike and substitute of I can't say shit. It replaces the HM move Surf by turning your bike into a fucking water bike, and you can float. There you go.
It is really cool.
It is cool. Although I personally will always have a soft spot for teaching some of your Pokemon Surf because I like the idea of riding your Pokemon from one place to the other. But I don't own a Lapras. I don't want to abuse my Squirtle.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, there is, on one hand, this is cool because like there are some HMs that are obnoxious, like
strength and cut.
Yeah, I don't want to teach you
rock climb,
cut or rock climb. Like,
remember when I thought
fly, like they're good, and waterfall too.
Remember when I thought rock climb was a rock type move?
I think everyone at one point thought it was a rock type move.
Why the fuck is it? Why the fuck is it normal?
Rock climbing is apparently a normal everyday thing.
I guess if you're a primate.
I climb to get to my bed every night.
Yeah, but is it made out of rocks? I mean, I get it's a bumpy, like, rocky road when you go up there every night, but it's not made out of rocks.
More confusing.
What?
Like, whenever, like, say, Grottle would use it, it would just create this pillar of earth. So you could climb on it.
I don't know. This anime is weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Pokegear has always been... Okay, well, I do find it weird how I technically have a legendary Pokemon in me. So the entire thing. I like the Pokegear. You know, I like that Rotom as my phone / Pokedex. I've always like grown a slight attachment to it, but I've always liked Rotom being like this mysterious legendary ghost that can turn into appliances. Huh?
It's not even a legendary. It's just some regular. It's literally just a regular Pokemon that had a little event for it in the game.
Well, it's legendary in my eyes.
I actually used to think it was legendary until recently. Until like Sun and Moon came out.
Well, what a coincidence.
I know, right?
Yeah, but it's alright. It's okay. I really don't have a strong opinion towards this. You know, anything replacing HM moves, period, is already a good thing in my book. Again, on one end, I am gonna miss having to use Surf and just riding my main water Pokemon, my ace water Pokemon. But, you know, I like that I don't have to keep wasting HM moves like that. Like, you know, I guess they were cool for its time to solve puzzles, but, you know, the unfortunate downfall is that you're going to have to give it to some of your best Pokemon. And I don't know about you, but if I had to give Cut to my Infernape, I'd rather just give up on life.
Yeah.
And I say that because I did teach my Infernape Cut once. And I wanted to give up on life.
Yeah, we've all done mistakes. What kind of other HM do you think the Rotom thing would replace? Because we already know that Fly is getting replaced by Corviknight. So...
Well, they have to do something with strengths and cuts, basically, because back in Sun and Moon, you were riding a Bouffalance that I guess can substitute strength for it. Yeah. Oh, no, it wasn't Bouffalon, it was Tauros. Yeah, and Tauros, yeah. Muds, I can't remember, Mudsray...
I think it was Machamp. And then Mudsdale, I think...
Mudsdale, that was it.
Yeah, Mudsdale, I forgot what Mudsdale. I think it was just like...
I think that was Rockline, now that I'm thinking about it.
No. I think Rockline was Machamp.
Oh, right. Oh, right. Why would they give Rockline to something very ground or rock related?
Yeah.
Give it the one with 4 arms.
Yeah.
That makes perfect fucking sense. Moving on.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about the characters.
Alright.
Okay, did you put the champion... I want to start with the champion.
Yeah, the champion's in the bottom of the list.
Okay, I know he's in the bottom, but before I talk about Hop, I do want to talk about Leon.
Yeah.
So...
He's in the bottom of the thing, by the way.
I like Leon's design. Oh, thank you. You pretty much... Your list says it all. I like Leon's design. He seems pretty cool. But I hate the fact that his signature Pokemon is Charizard.
Ah, same.
I'm like looking at it, I'm like, why is it a Charizard? Look at every champion prior. Their main Pokemon are usually, with the exception of Lance, I guess, and even then Lance is kind of cheating. Like, Everybody else had their best Pokemons that are specifically for that region. Fucking Steven is Metagross. Cynthia's is Garchomp. Wallace is Milotic. Iris is Haxorus. What's the other one?
Is Gardevoir, but it's a Mega Gardevoir, which originates from Kalos.
Yeah, what is Charizard other than, the big Charizard, the Dynamax Charizard? And how many people have Charizard as their main Pokemon? Like, I'm sick and tired of it. Give Blastoise more love.
How about just stop sucking genuine cock? How about that? why not make the pseudo legendary Galar Leon's Pokemon?
Or literally anything from that region that hasn't been seen yet. Why even show him in the first place? I'm just waiting for Charizard to just be his second best Pokemon, and he's just there, but we don't know his best Pokemon.
I hope so. I hope that's the case. I hope it's just his right Pokemon. And also the fact that we've never seen a champion with a starter in his main team from a previous
Blue.
I said from a previous generation. Blue doesn't count because Johto is basically Kanto 2.0.
Basically.
Yeah. They're literally right next to each other, and they have the same league.
They're right next to each other, just like how Gotham and Metropolis are next to each other in Batman vs. Superman.
So, yeah.
Okay, no laughing, I guess. Fine.
I like his design. It has some sport elements with some regal elements here and there, which fits the UK, as well as the Galar region's apparent theme of sports, which is cool. Well, aside from the Charizard, I have no problems with them. I think he's really cool. Yeah.
Truth be told, most of these characters we're going to be primarily talking about is how appealing their designs can be, and I honestly just think that based on what I'm seeing from Leon, he seems like he can be your best friend.
Yeah, he seems really cool. He genuinely seems like a modern day sports star.
Okay. And now, leading up to it, personally, I think this is a good approach, but I like that Hop is his younger brother, and he's one of your rivals. I like the idea of having to, in a way, get out of your older siblings' shadows, I guess, and trying to become your own person, or have him as an inspiration for you to try harder. It's an interesting take. I'd like to see a little bit more from Hop, and I know he's going to be one of those friendly rivals that I'm just sick and tired at this point, but as long as they give me something unique with Hop, I'll be okay with it. He better not break the fucking, I'm gonna pick the Pokemon you're weak to tradition like fucking Hal is. Hal did.
Yeah, I hope they break that tradition. I like his design. He has I like his jacket, it's really cool. And yeah, like you said, he is continuing that new trend of choosing the store that's weak to yours, which bothers me. And I feel the only type of character that could pull that off is a douchey rival that's being oh, I'm gonna beat you by using the Pokemon that's weak to your starter.
Can I be honest with you? I feel it should get to a point where it should be randomized for the rival to pick the opposing Pokemon, because I don't want him to because it's gonna be douchey if they just pick the Pokemon that you're weak to, but then it's also fucking retarded for them to pick the Pokemon that he's weak to. It's at this point, can they just randomize it?
At least in some of the games they explain why.
Okay, I like the idea of them always choosing the starter that is stronger against you, because I always like the fact that the starter just wants to have, the rival wants you to have, he always wants to have the advantage, and, the starter is always the best case. It's so justified with Blue, the best. And Blue and Barrier specifically, I think, handled it the best. With Silver, it was just a pure coincidence. But
with Sharon and Bianca, I think Bianca just literally picked the cute one, and Sharon was this is the only one left, so whatever.
I thought Sharon picked after you.
No, I think it was Bianca. I don't know.
I really don't remember. I don't have a complaint with those guys. I feel the way they all handled it was pretty, fine. You take one type, Bianca's weaker to you because she's, the least experienced or just the biggest newbie at the bunch, and Sharon's the most serious, so he's gonna be the bigger threats, I guess, out of your two rivals. So I've always liked the dynamic between Sharon and Bianca and you. And Hugh also makes sense why he would pick his strongest, the Pokemon you're weak to as well.
His wasn't that would be strong. His was hatched from an egg.
Hugh?
Yeah.
Wait, Bianca didn't give him, like, a starter?
Bianca never gave him a starter. His was hatched from an egg.
Well, that makes...
Your first rival battle with him.
Well, that makes less sense. I completely forgot. I haven't played White 2 in a while, but...
I think May and Brendan were pure coincidence as well.
Yeah, no. Silver, May, Brendan, Hugh, and... I think those three are the ones that are very coincidental. Because I think if I were to go back and Hugh would have the storyline of, you know, oh, his Pokemon, like, hatched from an egg, I think I would have given him a fucking Eevee. Like, that's like the easiest, Pokemon to experiment with.
True.
Or Riolu, like, something, like...
If it was Gen 5, they wanted to, like, use Gen 5 Pokemon.
Probably, but... Yeah, but, like, maybe I would have done something else other than it just coincidentally hatched from an egg and it just happens to be the Pokemon that's stronger than yours. But something like that, if they would have substituted for, like, a randomizer, I guess, and you don't know what... Maybe that's why people do randomizers, now that I'm thinking about it. Never mind, I'm just gonna shut up.
Let's see, what else? What else can we add? Oh, yeah. So, in the Direct, they said, and in the Pokemon website, they say that Hop is going to be one of the rivals.
So there's a possibility that we get a Gladion-esque rival.
I would like a Gladion-esque rival, because I really like Gladion's character, like, from beginning to end. He was, like, a douche at first, and then, like, he realized, like, his motivation and, like, why he was doing what he was doing. And I thought it was pretty cool. I liked Gladion a lot.
He seems like an edgy... to me, he's always been like an edgier Silver.
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully we do get sort of like a meaner type of rival. Like, I don't mind a friend rival so long as we also have a mean rival.
I don't mind a friend rival as long as there's a reason for him to be a rival. Because I've always liked Barry. Barry has always been... has actually had that nice little... dynamic between him being your friend and him being a rival. Hugh also fills that same category, but Hugh seems to be more like on his own goals as opposed to him actually being a rival. He seems to only challenge you just to get stronger, like to understand his flaws and for him to get stronger.
With Hugh, it was that you were a rival by coincidence. With May and Brendan, they were the first friendly rival, and in Ruby and Sapphire, they basically didn't have any personality until Gen 6. And what else?
Maybe not. I think that goes more towards May than Brendan.
Yeah.
And that's already because, like, by that point, May has already been, like, you know, a character.
It's already established through the anime. Brendan, not so much.
As much as I love Brendan's design, but, yeah, he's not an actual character.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. Wally was more like he looked up to you, kind of, and then... he was like, oh, I'm definitely gonna get strong like you.
Which, admittedly, was done better in ORAS. I think in ORAS they captured that essence really well.
Yeah, so hopefully they do something cool with even with Hao. With Hao, it was that he wanted to be like his grandfather, wanted to be strong like him. Even though, like, I consider Hao a rival.
Well, Hao's fucking retarded.
Yeah, but Hao is, like, he's a dum-dum. Like, he had his motivation, so I hope this new guy, Hop, I hope he does have a motivation. Serena and Caleb were like, yo, my parents are Pokemon trainers.
Let's not think about the Gen 6 ones. The Gen 6 rivals are the worst.
By far.
They are terrible.
Except the one that's, like, basically confirmed bisexual. What was her name again?
Shauna? Oh my god. No, we're not. No. No. I checked myself out of Mana. Wow. Shauna for a while. Shut up.
Yeah, no one liked...
To be fair, I think I like Shauna more in the anime than I did in the game, so I'll just give her that, but everything else,
I like Bruno and Trevor a lot more in the anime as well, because in the games they were just, like, terrible.
They were fucking...
I forgot they existed for a hot
minute. No, wait, can I go a little bit of a rant, I guess? Whoever's idea was it to give their Pokemons only 3 fucking moves needs to be fired.
Oh, I agree. 100%.
Alright, yeah, Gen 6 sucks, okay? Gen 6 is just terrible. Moving on.
Okay, Professor Magnolia. She's a professor of the Galar region.
More women!
Yeah! Feminism! Woohoo! So let's see, she's an old lady. She basically looks like Queen Elizabeth II, the current Queen of England. And she's named after the magnolia tree, which is one of my favorite flowers. And she's also researching Dynamaxing.
I don't have an opinion. I just like that we have another female professor.
Hey, I like it. And I also like that we have another old professor, because maybe they've just been like hot people.
You know, I didn't even have that opinion. Of course you had that opinion.
Well, I'm a raging bisexual, so of course I had that opinion.
Because I got Juniper, and we already know the other one.
Yeah, we had Juniper, we had Sycamore, and then we had, I always forget the one from Kukui.
Yeah, I always forget his name too. And then ironically, he was the final boss in Sun and Moon. Alright, and then we got Sonya Blade. Sonya.
Wow, Ronda Rousey's in this game?
Yes, very much so.
So she seems to be the granddaughter of Queen Elizabeth. Professor Magnolia. And there's already people drawing porn of her.
Oh, really? Going up right now.
Yeah, I literally saw it on Instagram today before recording with you. I saw just a picture of her just
Wow, that did not take long at all. Oh my god.
Just a day.
Wow, and you know what's funny? I accidentally stumbled into SBO hanging himself, and that just already killed everything. I'm gonna send it to you.
Dear Lord.
But yeah, keep talking while I save this.
I like the idea of professors having researchers that play a story role. Like the ones from X and Y, Dawn and Gen 4. Let's see who else.
The best Pokey Girl.
Yes. Fight us.
If you say Serena, I will shoot you.
Cool. I think this is cool. I like it. Next up, we have Milo, the gym leader.
He's alright.
Yeah, he specializes in grass type. He has this weird thing where he has a baby face with a super ripped body.
Yeah.
It looks weird. I feel uncomfortable looking at it. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I just feel uncomfortable looking at him.
Not as uncomfortable as I'm looking at these Rule 34s.
Of course you're still looking at that.
Yeah, and I just found the female trainer from White 2, and I'm already done.
Oh, dear Lord.
I'm also going to send this to you, and you will love this. Also, I send you the SBO one. Enjoy.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at it right now. I'm just like, why?
I don't know, and that wasn't even, I just, listen, I'm retarded, and I just Googled it, actually, but I was not expecting something that depressing, okay? Here, you can enjoy this one, too.
Oh, God!
And you know what's the funny part? None of you guys will ever know what we're looking at.
I delete this?
No.
Fuck.
Yeah, so, now let's look at the Pokemon.
Perfect.
Let's look at the Pokemon, and we're gonna start with my personal favorite, Grookey.
Yeah, Grookey gang.
Grookey, I like him because he's like a combination of Chimchar and Trico rolled into one.
Nice.
I don't know. He's like the coolest looking design, and I'd like him. He's also the only one where the name doesn't want me. His name makes me not want to shoot myself.
His name is hilarious. It's a combination of groovy and monkey.
And now I want to shoot myself.
What did you think it was?
I thought it was a cute name. I didn't know it was groovy. Now he's like a hippie in my eyes.
Yeah, because all of his names in different languages all relate to monkeys and music. So a lot of people are thinking that he might evolve into some type of a musician Pokemon.
Oh no, now I'm gonna have Donkey Kong.
Wait a minute. Can we make him into a gorilla Pokemon and just have it be a pun on the English band Gorillas?
I don't want a green Donkey Kong, okay?
I want it.
Next up, Score Bunny.
Oh god.
He's cute, but their name's retarded.
I think it's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Score Bunny is literally Fire Bunny.
Okay, but it could also mean score, as in scoring a goal.
I had a feeling you were gonna say that, and I hate you for the rest of my life.
Oh, shut up.
It's based on albino rabbits and young athletes. So it is part human, part rabbit.
No, but okay.
If it's a young athlete, there's a young boy inside that bunny.
Dear Lord.
And now we got Sobble, the water Charmander.
Yeah, he's a chameleon. Karma, chameleon. I love that song.
It's okay.
Shut up.
Oh, wait, not the song. I meant the Pokemon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think Sobble's kind of cute. I like it.
To be fair, I can't really give too much emphasis on the starters at the moment because usually I wait for their final evolution. Okay, usually goes, the first evolutions are cute, second evolutions are ugly as sin, and then the third evolutions are fucking badass.
Pretty much, yeah.
Unless your name is Emboar and Delphox.
Yeah. Some people...
Well, I like Emboar. Like, Emboar's fine. Delphox sucks.
What do you think the theme for the evolutions of each of the starters is going to be?
Okay, basically, with Grookey, we're going to get Grass Slacking. With Scorbunny, we're going to get Fire Lopunny. And Sobble, we got Water Charizard. That's all I got.
Okay. I meant, like, theme as in, like, you know how the Gen 4 starters are all based on myths? The Gen 6 starters are all RPG classes. What do you think it's going to be the theme for these?
Nigga, I had no idea about any of those things you just said.
You didn't know?
No! I just thought, hey, big monkey, Gen 4, big monkey, big land, big tritons. And Gen 6, it's like a frog with a fucking tongue.
Frog with a tongue. So
I called my Greninja Slippy when I came out, okay? Did you think I thought about the fucking... Did you think I thought about that?
Clearly you didn't.
Dude, in these types of slugcasts, you're the Wikipedia page, and I'm the one that just... I'm just here.
It's scary.
Right? It's like I don't go for the small cutesy. I'll go like the mean bean like slayers. Even though Squirtle's nowhere near like that. Squirtle's precious.
Well, Blastoise is mean looking.
Yeah, but he's no Squirtle.
He's probably angry because he turned into a tortoise and now he can't swim properly.
Hey, he can. Oh, shut the fuck up. We're not going there. Now, next Pokemon's Wooloo the sheep Pokemon. I'll just keep Mareep. That's my sheep of choice.
I love Bruno. It's so cute.
And this is why I sometimes question our friendship.
Everyone knows Wooloo. You know how many pictures of like cute little Wooloos I've seen floating around Instagram?
Okay, Wooloo Rule 34.
Don't you dare!
No, god damn it! I keep getting so. Oh my god, there's Wooloo already.
What fuck?
Moving on.
Right.
Gossifleur. It's okay. I'm tired of. I'm just tired of flower Pokemon. Is that kind of wrong to say?
I mean, it's understandable. They are really common for grass types, and it's easy to make a flower into like a Pokemon.
So it's fine, I guess.
Yeah.
Dreadnought is my favorite name.
It is such a badass name.
Although I did not know it was Water Rock. Guess I'm not using it. The bite Pokemon. We got a Water Rock type equivalent of fucking Turtwig. It appears to be based off an alligator, snapping turtle with some tortoise elements. Okay.
It's a tortoise, but it has like, I don't know, it looks like a giant alligator snapping turtle.
Yeah. Simplistic. It's solid in its simplicity. And now we're going to go with, personally, my favorite Pokemon so far. Corviknights.
My favorite, too.
Really? What a coincidence.
Yeah, it's a flying steel type, and it's going to be this region's fly Pokemon. So you know how Lapras is Kanto's surf Pokemon? This is going to be Galar's fly Pokemon. And it'll be used as a taxi service to go from town to town. And it basically replaces the function for fly.
Let me tell you, that's precious, but I want one for myself.
Yeah, I want it too. I want to catch one.
Any Pokemon that's based off of a Raven and done right is just amazingly precious.
Yeah, my roommate, I was talking to him like what I would nickname it. I was thinking of like Nevermore Edgar, like the poem from Edgar Allan Poe. But then like he told me just name it Dave, and I'm gonna be like, you know what, you're right. I'm gonna attach it and I'm gonna name it Dave.
That's like the most random name ever, but that's A-okay. And now I know you showed me this. You told me to watch a video that's like that specifically looks at trailers. Or it's like the trailer, and I guess there's supposed to be a squirrel.
Yeah. So there's this unnamed squirrel Pokemon that wasn't shown proper in the trailer. It was shown on a t-shirt's decal and as a sign in the first gym. And there was also a leak a while ago that stated that there was going to be a squirrel or chipmunk type Pokemon that could be found in berry trees.
Alvin!
Please now.
Okay, I just wanted to say that.
Like the Pikachu of this game and move on.
Alright, I can live with that. It should be a mount. It should be like a rat or something, but that's okay. Oh my god, you said the exact same thing I thought of. Now we're going to the legendaries. Okay, help me pronounce this name. Zacian and Zamazenta. Am I right?
Zacian and Zamazenta.
Zacian? Zacian and Zamazenta. Okay. Basically, it's Doggo with a sword and Doggo with a shield. Or Doggo with the head of a shield and Doggo holding a sword in its mouth.
Chicken bamboozled.
Which I'm assuming one of them is going to be water and the other one's going to be fire.
Really?
I don't know. That's my guess.
I don't think so. I think they're both going to be fighting steel type.
Well, fuck me then. I don't know. One of them was going blue and the other one was going red, so I just went, okay, that means fire and water. I don't know.
I could see that.
I got nothing. They look. I got nothing with these. I got nothing with these two. Like in terms of legendaries themselves, I really kind of feel like it's a bit of a step down from the last ones, from Sogale and the Luna, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a bit of a step down, and personally, I feel like I don't mind these two guys being like the mascots. They kind of remind me of just Entei and Raikou if they decided to wield weapons, if anything. But it's fine. Like, I'm not saying they're bad. Their designs are bad. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. It's still doggos holding weapons.
Solgaleo and Lunala, but lore-wise, I don't think they're going to contribute much because, like, what can a sword and shield do? Like, it's probably going to be like how the Zekrom and Reshiram were basically like they only helped with like Unova. They didn't help with like the world as a whole. So I feel like it's going to be the case with Zacian and Zamazenta. Also, I want to add, Zacian is basically the wolf boss from Dark Souls and Koromaru from Persona 3.
When did you become a Dark Souls player? Since yesterday?
And I was like, I'm going to add this to the subcast.
Like, you missed the chance to make an Avengers reference. You were like, since when did you become a Dark Souls expert?
Yeah. Ooh, one more thing.
Yeah.
It appears that Zacian and Zamazenta's names are corruptions of the words cyan and magenta, which respectively are a shade of blue-green and a reddish fuchsia pink type color.
Okay, so Zamazenta is going to be fairy and Zacian is water grass.
Kinda.
I mean, I hope I'm wrong.
I hope so too.
And now, basically at the end of the trailer, after introducing our little mascots, our doggos with weapons, there could potentially be a bigger threat. Ooh.
Yeah.
There was a gust. It was a fucking Pidgey. One thing I will say that I like about Zacian and Zamazenta is that they're not enemies from what I'm seeing. Like they were just chilling. They thought that they were being hunted by each other, and then they're like, "Brother, what are you doing here? I don't know, brother. What are you doing here? It's a trap." And then then it cuts.
And then they're like back to back, like they looked like they were about to fight as a team. I really like that because we haven't had that dynamic in mascot legendaries. I don't think ever.
Dialga and Palkia have had their moments, but to be fair, they were still enemies. Like every single mascot Pokemon have always been enemies, but they've always had their Dialga and Palkia have always had their you know what, you don't mess up with my space, and I won't mess up with your time. Simple as that. We go our separate ways, and then we be homies.
I was like, Fuck you, land bitch. Say that again. Bitch.
Say that to my face, water bitch.
And then you have like Zekrom and Reshiram, who were literally two sides of the same coin.
Zekrom is like, I like lightning, and then Reshiram's like, yeah, well, I like fire. Well, that means I don't like you. Well, I don't like you either. Civil War.
Both of you.
And then X and Y is like, I'm the god of life, and then the other one's like, I'm the god of death. Yeah, we can't. This relationship's not gonna work out.
And then in Sun and Moon, it was like,
hey, remember Soul Rock and Lunatone?
but with lions and bats.
Yeah, and then it's like, also, you look nothing like me. What are you supposed to be? I'm majestic? Bitch, I'm a lion. I'm more majestic. Okay, I guess we can't be friends anymore.
They did kind of team up when fighting Necrozma, but not really because they got taken over.
Okay.
I don't know. That situation was just weird, but I like the Gen 7 legendaries. And I also like these. I think they're really cool. Which one are you gonna pick?
Actually, I like Zacian the most because I feel like it's adorable that it's just a dog with a sword in its mouth. Zamazenta, like, is just a dog with a big ass shield in his face, but Zacian is like a dog who just like came back to its owner. Shit, Jesus Christ, my alarm. But it's like a dog that just, brought a toy back to its owner, but it's a sword. I'm gonna go with Zacian just for that tiny detail. See, Zamazenta, I feel like Zamazenta, I feel like I'm gonna decapitate him and then just use his face as a shield. Like, I don't know. But Zacian is like, oh, who's a good warrior dog?
If you're gonna pick Zacian, then I will pick shield and get Zamazenta.
Okay, usually it's us. Usually when it comes to you and me, I feel like it would normally be the other way around. I feel like you'd be the sword one and I'd be shield.
I want to switch it up.
But I love Zacian so much. It just like
I don't mind picking either or.
They both kind of look the same, except that just one has like a bigger, like has a shield head, and the other one again just doesn't have the shield head. But they kind of look the same in my opinion. If anything, they kind of remind me of they kind of make me think that they're like brothers or something, and that's why when they fought, and then they have this like the potential evil legendary, they're like, brother, what are you doing here? I don't know, brother, what are you doing here?
Romulus and Remus type of thing.
Like, I don't know, it just looks cute.
Yeah, I like it too. I think it's cute. I can't wait to see the potential third legendary. That supposedly, like, that everyone is theorizing that will be evil.
Or Magikarp, who knows?
That could be a gun. It just could be a dagger with a
Oh
gun.
my god, that's... I just thought of it. I just pictured it.
Dear Lord, I'm picturing it too. Its mouth is the barrel.
Pokemon gun version.
Oh god. If that actually becomes a thing, because I became a meme. If that becomes an actual thing, I'm gonna lose it.
I will no longer play a Pokemon game again. I will be complete. You have me with dog using gun.
During the time of Gen 8, Pokemon Gun comes out, I will eat crow.
Really? I'd eat my own shit.
You never heard that saying, Mark, or eat crow?
No, I just heard eat shit, so I'll literally eat my own words, which is often full of shit, but that's okay.
I will eat a crow, probably. I'll eat a hunch crow.
How fucking dare you?
Fine, a mercrow.
No! How about none crows?
No crows. Fine, I won't eat a crow. How about that?
How about eat pheasants?
But I've never had pheasant before.
Well, they taste like chicken.
Okay.
Okay. So overall thoughts on the Direct. I thought the Direct was good. Like, it did its job. Like, it did like it needed to do. It was a pretty short Direct, which unironically made our video still an hour long, but hey, that's to be expected at this point.
We cool that way.
It's good, but I need to address a couple things regarding Pokemon as a whole. Remember when I said, like, hours ago that Pokemon was at one point my favorite franchise in any media? I wasn't lying. Pokemon was like my life in my childhood. Again, I used to play that game. I used to play Gen 4 specifically, like, every weekend. Every time it's the weekday, I hated it because I wanted to play more Pokemon. If I'm not playing on my DS against my friends locally, like Diamond and Pearl or Platinum, I'd be on my Wii playing fucking Battle Revolution for hours online. Like, I had such a blast. Like, that was like the cherry on top when it came to competitive Pokemon. And even though I didn't really follow Smoggin rules at the time, I still had a blast kicking people's asses with my dynamic team from like across every region that I went to, perfecting them at all costs. Having a Garchomp that everybody like hated to death, because that Garchomp was the legendary Pokemon Slayer. So
I'm imagining it.
I've always liked the older Pokemon games just a tad bit more. I'm not saying this as a Gen 1er, but you know, I've always like anything that's a little bit closer to Satoshi Tajiri's vision of Pokemon are the ones that I kind of appreciate a lot, because they kind of have the simplicity of, you know, you go out in the wild, you catch a Pokemon, and you train them, you know, you level them up, you become champion, and that's something that I feel like Gen 6 started to, like, a lot of people bash on Gen 5. I personally like Gen 5, like, surprisingly. Like, you know, there was a period in my time in which I thought I was going to outgrow Pokemon, but then Heart Gold and Soul Silver came to my life, and it's like, you're like, as if I'm ever going to drop Pokemon. I heard nothing but negative things about Black and White, and when I got a chance to play it, I was surprised to know how great those games actually were, story-wise at least, and the Pokemons are not even that bad. It's really Gen 6 the one that I give the most hard time, because that's the one I truly dislike the most. You can complain about Gen 4 all you want, but then you have Platinum. And if you're one of those faggots that says that Heart Gold and Soul Silver don't count as Gen 4 games, you're fucking wrong.
Yeah, you're stupid.
You're like objectively wrong.
Yeah.
You can say Gen 4 is your least favorite all you want, but if you love Heart Gold and Soul Silver, you're just wrong.
Then are they Gen 2? Are you gonna say Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire are Gen? You're gonna look at me in the eye and say that Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire are Gen 3 as well?
You can say that. You'll just be wrong.
Yeah, you can say that. You'll just be dead ass wrong.
So yes, Diamond and Pearl was slow paced, but then everything was improved in Platinum, and Gen 4 introduced the physical special split, which is like the best thing that Pokemon has ever done, next to Squirtle.
Yes.
And Gen 6, I feel like, took the series in a whole new direction. Aside from it being the easiest game in the series, having Elite Four members with 4 Pokemon instead of 5, being over-leveled against them because of the EXP share, gym leaders that are forgettable as hell, and overall a game that's, you know, that was already flawed and never even perfected in a 3rd version. You know, I'm still waiting for Pokemon Z, right?
Yeah, that's never gonna come.
So, like, Gen 6 never had any life insurance. I get it, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were fine, but if anything, those games made me, like, did the one thing that I was afraid of. And that was introducing a new timeline in this Delta episode, where now we're not even in the same universe as Ruby and Sapphire Vanilla took place leading up to Black 2 and White 2. Like, it's a completely new thing where this big battle apparently, like, spawned Mega Evolutions, and it just, you know, the more you think about it, the more confusing it gets, and the more you go really into it, the less Pokemon it feels. Pokemon was about a trainer who just wanted to get out and catch a bunch of Pokemon and be the very best. It was a simple concept that could easily be expanded further, but not in the way that they're doing it. Mega Evolutions, Z-moves, and now the fucking Titans of Death, whatever the hell they're called. I forgot what they're called.
You mean Exernia City?
No, not the Pokemon. The Dynamaxing. Those 3 just made a fucking they just turned Pokemon into fucking Dragon Ball.
No,
not Digimon, Dragon Ball. Which I guess is fine for you anime lovers, but to me, as a longtime Pokemon fan, I just feel like it's a very weird direction. Like, you know, from a technical standpoint and a graphic standpoint, yeah, none of these Pokemon games are ever technically bad, but in my eyes, they kind of fall flat from ever being anything but passable. Like, yeah, it's okay, and then I'll just forget about it after a couple of weeks. I forgot almost everything about Sun and Moon and X and Y. Like, you know, they don't stand out to me. But I remember a lot of things from Black and White from my first playthrough. And I do hold those games. I hold Gen 5 to high regards than what most people give credits to. But Gen 6 was like the beginning of what I say is Pokemon's identity crisis. Like, it's not the same game. It's a little bit more. And it tries to add these new mechanics for the sake of adding new mechanics, but I feel like it's missing the points. And don't listen to Arizo because he's a faggot. Because, yes, if you think that this is a little bit of a cop-out way to add new mechanics, that's more than a valid reason to dislike Megas, Z-moves, and Dynamax. Like,
I mean, you can have whatever reason you want to dislike a mechanic. It's not really, I wouldn't exactly call it a cop-out reason. I feel like, while I do disagree with you on some aspects of what you said, I do think that you have every reason to dislike what you dislike about Pokemon. Or what you dislike about Gen 6, or about Mega Evolution, or whatever.
Yeah, like
that's just your opinion.
I feel like maybe Game Freak is not running out of ideas. That's never really been the issue. It's just that they have ideas that I feel like doesn't work. But they kind of put it in there to have some more diversity into the franchise.
Yeah,
and I feel like but it's further away from Satoshi Tajiri's vision of what the concept of Pokemon was. And you want to know what the concept of Pokemon was? Catching bugs.
And dinosaurs.
Well, it started with bugs because last time I checked, we weren't born in the prehistoric era.
Oh yeah, that's it.
It's literally because he catched bugs. That's where it all started. Where did Mega Evolution and Z-moves come in? Did he just play with the bugs and go, guess it's gonna go bigger, and then he just tears it apart because he wanted it to go big? Like, no. Poor Caterpillar. Poor Caterpillar gets demolished because of your fucked up vision.
Because of your stupid giant beetle.
Rest in peace, Caterpillar. Anyway, that's my take. I don't hate these new games. I want to love these new Pokemon games, but I just haven't really been given a reason to. I'm not a Gen 1er. Fuck off if you say that.
Oh, no, he isn't. He is not.
If anything, my favorite generation is 4th Gen, followed by 2nd Gen, and then 3rd and 5th are somewhere intact. I'll probably give more emphasis on 5th Gen, then 3rd Gen. 5th Gen is ranked 5th. 1st Gen is ranked 5th in my eyes because it just doesn't age well, but it's also very memorable. Then Gen 7, and then Gen 6 is currently my least favorites, which, quite frankly, might remain that way, to be fair. So, your thoughts on the new Pokemon games?
So I had to skip through Gen 7 because my 3DS was busted, and I was getting the Switch at the time, so I just didn't feel like paying to get a new 3DS, so I can't really say much on Gen 7, aside from story-wise. With Gen 6, I do dislike some aspects of it. I do dislike how easy Pokemon games have become. I'm not the biggest fan of the friendly rivals. I do like friendly rivals, but they need to feel like a rival. It can't just be like, oh, we're BFS. You know? There has to be some aspect to it. Otherwise, it just kind of feels like you're bullying the rival.
Oh, trust me, with that fat ass from X and Y, I don't care. That was the worst one. I forget his name. Trevor, is that his name?
His name is Tierno.
Tierno is the worst rival in history of Pokemon. He is objective. I'm not talking. This is not my opinion. It's a fact. He is the worst one. You want to know why? Aside from him looking retarded, his Corphish only had 2 moves in his first battle, and then his second battle, he has another Corphish, and he's teamed up with Trevor, and the Corphish still has 2 moves. Third battle, his Roserade has one move in Petal Dance. His fucking Talonflame has one stab in Acrobatics and then a Swords Dance. Why does he keep giving his Pokemon Swords Dance? Like, what does that do? So his first and second battles, he only has one attacking move, that's Vice Grip. The other one's Swords Dance. He keeps giving Swords Dance to his Talonflame and Crawdons, and it makes no... And you only bite him fucking 3 times? His Roserade only has one move! Oh my god, he's worse than I remember him being!
Hey, at least he had a personality compared to Serena and Cal.
Oh, don't get me started with Serena. And I'm not just talking about Serena in the game. Just don't get me started with her.
Hey, Serena, she's got nothing to do with this.
No, but she gives me bad memories. Okay, fuck it, I'm going Serena rant.
No!
She sucks.
Fuck you!
She is useless. She does absolutely nothing but check Ash out, okay? You could literally substitute her with Dawn and it won't make a difference.
Oh god.
She is... I'm done.
That was a surprisingly short rant.
Do you want to go longer?
No!
I'm holding back for you. Don't take advantage of fuck it, just keep going.
Okay, what about Trevor?
Okay, fuck it. I'm gonna go back to Trevor now. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just saying we could be done with this shit, but no. Let's just delay the Slugcast even further. So Trevor has a stupid hair. That's +1.
He looks like Shaggy. He looks like a nerdy Shaggy.
Honestly, I can't even shit on him because his first battle he just has a Pikachu and a Flabébé. His second battle he has a Raichu, Aerodactyl, and Florges, and they all have 4 moves.
To be honest, I forgot what his team was.
To be honest with you, I just googled it.
I'm googling it too.
He has a Raichu with Thunderbolt, Quick Attack, Nuzzle, and Slam, an Aerodactyl with Crunch, Ancient Power, Sky Drop, and Supersonic. Florges, Moonblast, Energy Blast, Confide, and Misty Terrain. It's better than the Brony.
The Brony?
Yeah, let's look at Shauna. See how she sucks.
She sucks.
Okay, I'm gonna look at it if I choose Froakie. A Delcatty, Goodra, and a Delphox. See, here's the thing. I would normally show respect because she has a Goodra, but she ruined it because her ace only has 3 moves. Who does this shit? Who does this? Why 3 moves?
Aces have 3 moves.
Huh?
In the final battle where you have against her, all of her aces have 3 moves.
Who does this shit? What move did you remove to make them only have 3 moves? Do you hate your starter?
5 was easy. Maybe with that, Gen 5 was hard.
Gen 5 wasn't... Gen 5 was fine. Difficulty-wise.
I know. But...
This shit's pathetic.
Yeah, this is pathetic.
Like, I actually genuinely want a randomizer. I want a randomizer for this fucking game. Because that's like the only way I can get a challenge. I'm gonna Nuzlocke X and Y, fuck it.
That would be interesting, I don't think...
Yeah, that'd be interesting because it'd be the only game it would be the only way to make the game challenging.
You're right. You would never lied.
Oh, Gen 6 sucks. I want someone to look at me in the face and tell me that Gen 4 or Gen 3 or Gen 5 or even Gen fucking 1 being their least favorites. I think the ones that, I don't want to hate on Tamashi, but I think she was the first one to really put the whole Gen 4 as my least favorite one. But I think one of the things that pisses me off about people's rankings is that sometimes they have that one generation that they never really fully played.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't play Platinum, but the impact that, and I thought Heart Gold and SoulSilver were charming treasures, but Diamond and Pearl just really drags down the franchise. Bitch, have you then play Platinum? Fucking. Well, guys, do you want to anything else you want to add for the overall thoughts on the new games before I have an aneurysm?
I'm just gonna end it on a positive note and say I'm excited for Gen 8. I'm excited for Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I can't wait to get more information on E3.
I can't wait to get more doggos.
Who doesn't love tacos?
Especially when they bring me a sword.
Yeah, or when their face is a shield.
Okay, that one I already addressed. That one. I'll take the one that the sword giver. I'm gonna name him Sword Giver.
Sword Giver.
That's my nickname. All right, that's all we got. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little slugcast of Pokemans. I mean, I got time to spare, so like, assuming if you have time, like, we can probably do like a couple of showdowns sometime in the future. But in the meantime, this is the end. And yes, there will be showdown. I know I say I was gonna do it, and I keep not doing it. It will happen. I just need to get off my ass.
Yeah, Marker, get off your ass.
Listen, I don't want to think, okay? I don't like thinking.
It's for winners. Who's get shit done.
Alright, you sluts. I'll see you guys in the next Sludcast or in the next other video that I have for you. So, goodbye.
Bye.
Later, sluts.